Spoilers. 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 I like that word.
I thought you might.
Hello everyone and welcome to another Fan Theories. In part 1 of this theory we looked at the idea that the 10th Doctor was afraid of his own death, not necessarily from the uncertainty in general of regeneration, but in fact of the uncertainty of his general future. And today, for part 2, we will be looking at how another earlier incarnation may have also harboured similar fears. In Planet of the Spiders, the Great Old One makes note of the Doctor's feeling fear when she takes control of him.
Is that fear I can feel in your mind? You are not accustomed to feeling frightened, are you, Doctor?
Now, the most obvious reason here is that the Doctor is actually afraid that she can control him so easily. However, it may also be the case that he is actually afraid of her as a spider, as several other incarnations of the Doctor also displayed this similar fear. In the novel The Scarlet Empress, the 8th Doctor had to partially overcome his fear of spiders in order to befriend one. In the novel The Prisoner of the Daleks, the 10th Doctor noticeably kept a distance from some larger spider webs. And the 11th Doctor became uneasy when spiders were brought up by Amy in Blood of the Cybermen.
Those things are worse than spiders.
Spiders? I'd rather we change the subject.
And later in the comic Outrun described spiders made from Time War wreckage as something of a psychiatrist couch moment for him. However, there may be another reason for the 3rd Doctor's fear in this story. Perhaps sensing that he will soon meet his end, as Time Lords can sometimes do, he is afraid of dying. But more than that, he is afraid of his first uncertain death. The Doctor's first regeneration was due to a combination of things, and whilst initially reluctant, perhaps already afraid to regenerate, after meeting his future self in Twice Upon a Time, he is reassured of his future, and whilst he doesn't necessarily remember those events due to his timelines being out of sync, he is left with the reassurance that if he does regenerate, he will be okay. His second regeneration was imposed on him by the Time Lords, and whilst perhaps it did take a little while to actually happen, see Season 6b, ultimately it did and was beyond his control, so he had no choice but to accept it. But this means that his third regeneration is his actual first unprepared for death. And it's possible that had it not been for the intervention of Campo Che, he would have actually died. The Missing Adventures novel Killing Ground supports this, as the 6th Doctor remembers the beginning of this regeneration whilst in the TARDIS before reaching the unit HQ as being particularly painful. And before it comes up in the comments, no, I haven't forgotten or overlooked any pre-Hartnell or Timeless Child incarnations with this theory. At the time of recording, the narrative is that whilst pre-Hartnell incarnations may exist and have done long since before the Timeless Child revelations, the Doctor likely has little to no memory of them during their earlier years. Although the 7th Doctor later seemed more aware/knowledgeable of his potential pre-Hartnell existence. However, the idea of the 3rd Doctor's regeneration being their first real death still makes sense, because at the time of it occurring, the Doctor very likely had no idea that they had had regenerations before the 1st Doctor, and as such only believed themselves to have regenerated twice before. But that brings to a close another Fan Theories. As always, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, favorite, subscribe, share, it really helps me a lot, and be sure to description below for a link to my Patreon. I'm doing my very first figure animation and you can get involved. There's exclusive content and rewards for those who do so, and funding my Patreon in any way gets your name at the end of my videos. I salute you all, and I will see you with another video very soon.